Here we are in the show tunnel, and it is a week before Chelsea Flower Show opens to the public. We will be loading and driving up to Chelsea on Tuesday, and this is the show tunnel now. I'm about to show you around at its finest. It looks its best at this time of year. This year at Chelsea, we are doing a lovely exhibit which is titled Trees of the Future, and it's very much been inspired by research and speeches, particularly one speech by Tony Kirkham from Kew, who spoke about diversifying the range of trees we grow away from purely sticking with native trees and branching out into trees which are non-native, but they are not brutes, they're not going to take over, and they're also not hosts or harbour diseases. So in our changing climate, we should feel free to explore a wider palette of plants for our gardens and landscapes, which will lead to more biodiversity, which can only be a good thing. So we are going to exhibit some of those rarer and unusual trees you may not think of planting in your garden or parkland, and I will begin to show you around. So here we are in the glaucous blue section, because our garden is going to have a drought resistant section, because part of our changing climate means we are going to be having longer, hotter, drier summers. We want plants that don't need watering in the summer. So these glaucous blues, particularly the Westringias, the Artemisias and the Santalinas, are all really good drought resistant plants. Grevilleas here, we've got eucalyptus, and we've got a variety of acacia there. We've got more eucalyptus over here. And then Ozothamnus with the lovely silver foliage, a wonderful drought resistant plant, and of course the cordylines and phormiums, and this particular Pittosporum tubeira is a great sort of evergreen glossy leaf plant, great for coastal conditions, and it's also really drought resistant. It's been an unusual spring this year. It's been cold, it's been damp, it's been dark, so everything's a little further behind than usual, which is good in some respects because it means our potted azaleas are just looking perfect, so we're going to have lots of those on the stand. But it also means that some things we were hoping to be in flower are not quite there yet, and as we go around into the shadier side, you will see some of our trees, for example the Cornus argentea alternifolia, it's not quite in leaf enough, and the same with our lovely big Acegrysium. But all is not lost, because nature gives and nature takes, and here we have a fabulous Parotia persica, an ironwood, which is looking absolutely perfect. It's a really lovely shape, crinkly branches. It's a wonderful tree. It's got great autumn colour. So this is definitely a must take for us this year. Moving on to other trees, we're going to take our classic ginkgo biloba. We are probably going to take our Magnolia macrophylla, because who can deny that those leaves are beautiful. We are also going to take, as we wander on down, a plant that sometimes we just bring plants in here as an experiment, and we feed them, we pot them up, but we just give them time and space to grow, and one year they just look absolutely stunning. And this year it's this Protea eximina. It's kind of growing out of the pot and sprawling all over the place, but it's huge, and every branch basically has these huge Protea flowers. So for our gravelly garden, I think this is a definite winner. and I think that might be like a big showstopper plant. Here we have a variety of lovely trees, the liquid ambers with the nice palmate leaves, and we have got the acers, Norway acers, that have lovely burgundy foliage even in the spring and summer, an amazing autumn colour. We've got a tilia, winter orange, which is a fabulous tree, and we are going to wander further down to have a look at the other trees that we will be taking. And we'll just come round. We've got the Cercistophyllum pendula. We have a Davidia involucrata in the back there, which is a fabulous tree. Great drought-resistant plant, Arbutus unido, the strawberry tree. These are looking fab, so we will be taking them. And of course, Colorateria. Really interesting tree, this one. And one of the many styraxes, we will come on to styraxes in a minute, that we will be showing, is this one here, Styrax japonica fargesii. So as you can see, the little pendant buds are just about to open, so they will look like little lampshades hanging down in about a week. So that is perfect. The Tuna sinensis flamingo, usually these are green by now. We would take these to the spring flower show at the end of March, but I think when they're looking they're pinkish, but they're neither full on pink and they aren't quite with their summer colouring yet, so unfortunately I don't think these would be quite good enough to go. However, the Cornus mass aurea is looking pretty stunning. With lovely, rich, fresh foliage. We've got one there and we have one there. Cornus mass aurea, I think that is a little tree to note for your garden if you like golden foliage. Now we're going to wander into the woodland section. So we have the Sorbus albolutescens, a wonderful tree, beautiful silver foliage. We've got a rarer and unusual type of tilia here, Tilia shenmuii. We have a Taxodium disticum, which I'm not sure is going to be out enough. This tree is also known as knobbly knees, and you see it planted around ponds or lakes, and the roots bulge up out of the earth so that they can get oxygen, because they're buried right down in marshy, boggy conditions where there isn't enough air there for them to breathe. So they produce these roots above ground, and they're known as knobbly knees. A great, beautiful tree, but I don't think it's out enough for us to take, unfortunately. However, we do have a wonderful array of Aesculus. Some of these grow absolutely huge. Some of them, on the other hand, form thickets. Parvia is that one. Here we have a Cladastrus. Lovely fresh foliage on that one. And we've got more majestic Aesculus, just absolutely stunning. I think that one there is Sydney Pierce, and we've got a Sydney Pierce here in flower, and I don't know if you can just catch that, but it's sort of like how pink and lilac fading to white. Beautiful. And here we've got a Euonymus europaeus red cascade. So this is a kind of native, I think it's a native, the spindle tree. But it's just coming out in flower, and if we have a look on the top there, it's just like little clusters of flowers in abundance. That's going to look really special. This is the Cornus alternia argentifolia. It's very similar to the wedding cake tree. It's not as big growing. It may go, it may not. We are just starting to get the flowers. The leaves have come out now that we've had this burst of sunshine and warm weather finally. So it may just make it, because the variegation is, again, beautiful. Here we have the Aesculus induta coming into flower. And again, quite different from the Sydney Pierce. We've got peaches and apricots and yellows. So this is a must. And we've got like our own little thicket of styrax over here, and all of them are absolutely bang on. Here we've got fragrant fountain. It's just starting to open, and you can see all of the little flowers on there. And we've got another fragrant fountain over here. And then over there we've got a Styrax japonicus, this one here, in through the aces. And then of course we come to the Calycanthus. We've got one in flower, Hartledge wine. It's just so beautiful. And we've got a Venus up here. It may, usually this is well out by now, but it's in tight bud. So we have another week, so that may come with us. We've got more Hartledge wine with the burgundy, claret, dark claret buds. And we've got a Cornus, China Girl, and that's looking fab. And more Aesculus, this one's called April Wine. And more Induta. And that's it. And then we've got our rhododendrons. So it's going to be quite a green stand because we are focusing on trees. So we've tried to bring in different coloured foliages, different leaf textures. So it's all about the trees for us this year, not so much about big blooms of amazing flowers. We're talking about increasing our range of trees, broadening our horizons, learning more about the different varieties of trees out there which will survive and thrive in our changing climate. And as we plant them, we're also contributing to kind of helping reverse the effects, which of course is pretty good as well.